The following is an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.
North Carolina Central is going to be picked up and knocked for by Tim Daniel. Picked up now by C.J. Moore. C.J. Moore, no one even.
This is Eagle Talk on the NCCU Sports Network. Here's your host, Chris Hooks.
Hello, Eagle fans. Welcome to Eagle Talk as we get you ready and caught up on all 14 sports here at North Carolina Central. This week, we're talking football and volleyball as the football team comes off a huge 48-35 win over South Carolina State to put themselves at 2-0 in the MEAC, while the volleyball team got their first win of the 2014 season as well. We'll talk to the head football coach of the Eagles, Jerry Mack. We'll also talk to the head volleyball coach here at North Carolina Central, Nicki Holmes. And we'll also give the offensive linemen a little love here in this program as Carl Jones will join us on this program as well. Coach, let's look back at that big win against South Carolina State. You know, you came down to Orangeburg. A lot of people not really expecting us to do very well against a very, very strong South Carolina State ball club. And, you know, this was kind of a statement game. And talk about that win first and foremost.
Well, I think it was huge for our program. It was huge for the university as well. You know, to not be won down there since 1972. You know, it was a statement game. You know, the guys came out there, played with a chip on their shoulder. They were a little bit embarrassed from last year, that televised game where they got blowed out. So, you know, they did a great job all week at practice. You know, putting together a great game plan, and they went out there and executed.
You know, a lot of people may not know, and I'm going to shed some light on it. On the scoreboard the whole week, you put up on the scoreboard. Here at O'Kelly Riddick during practice, you put up the score of that game. And I think that's, again, it played into the motivation of this team. I mean, they were embarrassed last year on national television. And I don't think it necessarily played a role, but it certainly probably kept them focused.
It did, you know, and that's what we talk about, focus and discipline. That's kind of the two things that we're trying to do as we create the culture of our program. And we tell them all the time, if they go out there with a sense of urgency and have a focus and discipline about the way they prepare and the way they go about handling their business, then we'll come out victorious a lot.
You know, and it really seemed like South Carolina State came out really strong. They took a 7-0 lead after we had a really good punt return, could get nothing going. What was the key to us just staying with it here in the early part of the ball game?
Right. We have a saying, you know, offensively at least, we always say, you know, if something bad happens, keep playing. If something good happens, keep playing. So that's kind of what we went out there and did. You know, no matter what the score says, we know as a unit, offense, defense, and special teams, what we're capable of doing. And that's what we did the entire game. We just went out there and kept pushing and kept crawling. You
know, it's interesting. We're up 10-7. We stop them. And then we unfortunately had a turnover, and they took the lead and went on to go up 21-10. At that point, it really seemed like we could have crumbled, and you know, all right, we gave it a good old college try, and you know, South Carolina State's just better, but that was not the case.
No, I mean, you saw flashes of against UNC Charlotte. How we scored 28 points in the fourth quarter. You know, Townsend, we almost were there. We kind of came around. Then we were able to come back the next week and beat Howard. So the team is steady, getting better, still growing as a football team. We're a young football team, but you know we have a no quit attitude.
You know, it's interesting as we ended the half down 21-17. That we were able to again force them to a situation to fourth down to end the half, and it really seemed like, all right, we cut it to 4, we stopped them, almost dominated them in that last series at the end of the first half. It seemed like the momentum switched, and then second half they come out, don't have their starting quarterback out. Giles McCleary came in, and it really seemed like it was like a shark smelling blood, and we went right at them.
Right. I think they learned how to finish. You know, we kind of put the foot on the pedal, and we just kept pressing, and we kept moving forward. And then, you know, in the fourth quarter, I think we were able to score 21 points, which also, too, you know, that's just that killer instinct that you talked about. You
know, Adrius Augustus was kind of forced into action here this past weekend. And I know you've seen him since you got here, and you've seen the talent he has. Were you surprised at all to see him out there doing as well as he did last Saturday?
I really wasn't. You know, he's had his ups and downs since we got here. But one thing we always tell those guys is continue to fight through adversity. And he's fought through his troubles. And I was proud and I was happy to see him go out there, have a great game on Saturday.
And then Andre Clark, I tell you what, I haven't seen him run as effectively as he has. He's had some great ball games. This is probably his best performance ever as an Eagle.
You know, Dre does a good job. You know, he comes to practice every day, prepared to practice, and he works hard. And, you know, 3 touchdowns again, you know, that's just a compliment to his hard work.
Malcolm Bell, talk about his progression. I mean, take away that unfortunate interception for a touchdown, I thought he was solid all day.
He was, a couple of misreads, but for the most part, he did some things checking the ball down and not putting us in bad situations. That's what we tell Malcolm all the time. We got enough playmakers around him. If he learns how to distribute the football, learns how to manage the game, the system will elevate him, and he's doing a great job of managing the game, and he's making plays. The long touchdown run, he made the safety miss in space, and that's not coaching. That's all him.
It's interesting though, the defense. You come into this ball game, and it was can we score against South Carolina State's vaunted defense? In this ball game, leaving, it was South Carolina State couldn't really do much against us when really put to it. Just talk about the defense and their play in this ball game.
Well, defensively, we made some personnel changes on the defensive side of the football. We were able to put together a couple of new packages, and we were able to, kind of scheme them up a little bit, and it just all worked out for the best. We did a great job of running to the ball, game tackling, and that's what it's all about.
Overall, I guess, the battle in the trenches certainly was won by us. Offensive line, I joke all the time about how, they're wanting the love. Well, they get it this week. I mean, 500 yards to offense, almost 300 yards rushing. I mean, I think Andre and the rest of the guys in the backfield probably need to go take the offensive line out to dinner or something. I mean, tremendous performance. Right. We can get better, though. That's the thing. We
can. I think 2 weeks in a row we've had the MEAC Offensive Lineman of the Week, and that's a compliment to Coach O and what he's doing with our offensive line. And it is room for growth. Right now we were out Deontay Wright. He didn't play last week, so we were even down on our quality backs. So I think the ceiling is not reached yet. We haven't reached our peak yet.
Now give us a little sneak peek to Morgan State. I mean, they come in one of the top teams in this conference in a lot of categories, running the football certainly. Right. Their strong suit. Looking at them on film and getting ready for this ball game, what have you seen from them?
Really good on offense. Good offensive football team. Like you said, they run the ball extremely well. Got one of the top rushers, not only in the MEAC, but in the country right now. Also, too, on defense, they have a defensive end that leads the nation in sacks right now. So they are a very talented team, extremely big football team, and they can explode at any given time. They've had some close games, and they're similar to us. They have a no-quit attitude.
It's interesting. With Morgan State, since I've been here, they've always had probably the best size. They have the 6'5" quarterbacks. They've had the 6'4" receivers. They've had the 6'3", 300-pound defensive lineman, the 6'5", 350-pound, 320-pound offensive lineman. So they've looked like a bigger school, and it's always been interesting to me, how competitive they are, obviously, but they could be someone that could take over this league if the right guy's at the helm. It looks like Lee Hull's doing that right now.
Lee Hull's doing a great job. I got a chance to visit with Coach a little bit during the summer, and then at some MEAC head coaches meetings. He just has a vision for the program just like we do. And, so far so good. They've done a great job of incorporating their schemes and their packages and getting their guys to believe.
For you guys, obviously we're starting to believe, but then winning against South Carolina State, how do we keep this up? How do we keep this momentum going? I mean, right now, if we keep it up, I mean, the sky's the limit, and there's some huge games that await us if we keep this momentum going.
Just one game at a time. We focus on, we don't even talk about South Carolina State anymore. We're moving on to Morgan State. We have a great practice today and Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll start putting our schemes and packages together. But we just got to stay focused. We have not arrived by no means, so we just got to stay the course.
Was the ice bath cold on Saturday?
Yeah, it was. They caught me off guard again.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. We'll keep talking out throughout the week with our separate previews and features, getting ready for Morgan State. Wish you the best of luck as you prepare for that one.
Thanks, Chris.
That is head coach Jerry Mack as we sign off the first segment here of Eagle Talk. When we return, we'll talk with the head volleyball coach here at North Carolina Central, Nicki Holmes, to talk about his program and their successes as of late. Eagle Talk returns after this on the NCCU Sports Network.
You on that grind, huh?
Just trying to be like you.
Careful what you wish for.
No, that's not negotiable. We have to make sure the contract is tight.
It's in the brief.
Check paragraph 5. I'm on my way up.
What are you studying?
Statistics?
I flunked that. Have a good night.
Hey, you forgot something.
Nah, man. That's you. Big Mac extra sauce, right?
Right.
Sometimes being deeply rooted
Thanks.
means being simply connected.
Wake up and get to Briggs Restaurants for Briggs $5.99 weekday breakfast specials. Now available from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. Just $5.99 for Briggs weekday breakfast specials. Available only at Briggs.
Welcome back here to Eagle Talk as we switch gears and talk volleyball here at North Carolina Central with the head volleyball coach, Nicki Holmes. Coach, first of all, congratulations on your first win against Savannah State the other night. Talk about that and just what it was like for you to finally get your first head coaching victory.
Sure, it was a great feeling, personally and professionally, but more importantly, it was important for the girls to have the process meet results.
Yeah.
And I think it's one thing to believe you can win, but knowing is more powerful.
Well, and again, with you coming in this year, it's a process for you to build your program. I mean, you're starting from scratch with as far as what you want to do, kind of a different style with these young ladies. How do you feel like they've taken to it? It really seems like they're playing much better volleyball than in the as the season progresses.
Sure, we talked right from the beginning of the season about embracing adversity, and that was the stamina and kind of the rallying point for this team to start practice in August and to compete 2 weeks later, to be on the road 6 straight weekends in a row. Just embracing the adversity of change and the change of culture. And I'm really proud of every single one of the athletes in my program just to embrace it and to go in day to day and fight for competition.
Well, I mean, speaking of competition, you've played 2 ranked teams. I mean, you've played some extremely tough competition and been toe-to-toe with them quite a bit. Haven't won a set, but you've been, again, you look at the scores, 25-20s, 25-22s, 27-25s. I mean, again, you've been right there. Again, it's all about learning the process and learning how to finish. And that's something, again, you certainly can commend you and your staff on.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about the future of this team and the culture that's built within the locker room and on the court. To go and compete in a way style against ranked teams is really hard to do for anybody. And to come in with all the adversity and with all the change is it says a lot about our staff and about our student athletes.
Just this week, Paige Phillips named Rookie of the Week here in the MEAC. I know you got to be pretty fired up about that. I mean, she's as good as they come as far as setters go in this league. Talk about her and just her progression.
And it's interesting with that. She's in a unique fashion where as a freshman you come in and have to run the offense. And we run a what we call a 6-2 package where 2 setters actually share court time. Mm-hmm. It's almost a 50-50 split. And so for her to get Rookie of the Week and get those honors while only having 50% of the play time is just a testament to her strength and her ability to fight and compete in practice and in the game.
Well, let's move on. You get ready tonight. You take on Charleston Southern in the Dig Peak game. Obviously, that's a big matchup. And it just, as far as the Dig Peak campaign is concerned, what does that mean to you, and what effect have you kind of seen and that this Dig Peak game has had for the awareness of breast cancer?
Sure. In the volleyball culture and volleyball community, breast cancer awareness is kind of one of the stable points for volleyball. And these players start when they're young and they see Dig Pink campaigns all through their junior careers. Mm-hmm. And it's great that we can carry that tradition on in the college arena and use our resources to bring awareness to this event and all the great, wonderful organizations that support and go for breast cancer awareness.
Charleston Southern, pretty good squad. Kind of give us a little overview of them.
Sure. This will be our second matchup this season with Charleston Southern, and they're trying to find themselves. They change up lineups, but we competed with them quite well. The great and interesting thing about this matchup tonight is that we'll both have different lineups, and we both have grown as programs. And so we'll see how these processes come together in a competition format.
And is there anyone that has sort of, in your eyes, had a really solid season, despite, not getting some of the accolades, maybe the Ashley McCarthy,
Sure.
some other players?
Ashley McCarthy has been one of our go-to players, and we've had to put her in different situations based upon things that have happened with the team. And now I think she has found her role, and she's found a groove, and those numbers are showing. She's hitting over 500 in efficiency, and which at 300 is a great number.
Yeah.
And her kill rate is considerably high, and she's still high up in the block category for the conference. In addition, Kelsey Murphy has done an extremely good job of just holding down her rotations and really holding down points when we need to, especially with her service aces.
as you move on through the rest of the season, you got A&T coming up in a couple days. Again, conference schedule is getting pretty hot and heavy. Just for you, what's your focus and what's this team's focus right now?
Sure. We always talk about a day at a time. Nothing changes. We stay within our routines and we talk about the process. And so really it's about our side of the net and about controlling the processes that we can control and putting ourselves in the best position for moving forward.
Well, Coach, wish you the best of luck here tonight against Charleston Southern, and we'll also wish you the best of luck as conference season moves on. Hopefully, you can see some of the fruits of your labor here from your young ladies.
Definitely. Thanks, Chris.
That is the head coach of the volleyball program here at North Carolina Central, Nicki Holmes. Carl Jones, offensive lineman here at North Carolina Central, joins us after this on the NCCU Sports Network.
Wild Cherry. Explosively cherry.
Define the fabric of a team. It's not selfish. It's not boastful. It's about many, sewn together to reach one common goal. But in order to win, you must learn to work together.
Welcome back to Eagle Talk, as again, be sure to check out NCCUEaglePride.com to stay up to date with all 14 sports here at North Carolina Central. Joining us here in the third segment of the program, Carl Jones, offensive lineman, the center here of the football team here at North Carolina Central. Carl, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chris. Nice to be here.
Carl, big win this past week against South Carolina State, and again, you guys up front, we joke about, some of you guys not getting the love. Well, here you go. Offensive line, you get the love here today. I mean, you guys deserve it all. Great performance against South Carolina State. Just talk about, as a unit and you yourself, what it was like to play like that, to beat a team like South Carolina State.
We knew coming in that the challenge was going to be on us. We put it on our shoulders. Coach O made it relevant early in the week that if we wanted to win, it was going to be on us. We took the role, took the challenge. We executed on the field, made it happen.
But honestly, Carl, you look – as I prepare for these games, I kind of line up and you can see the heights and weights of the guys. I mean, theoretically, South Carolina State, they were bigger. Their numbers look great. I mean, you guys came in, a lot of people were thinking, oh, we'd be lucky to score against South Carolina State. A&T couldn't. Why should we? What was your mindset and the offensive line and maybe the team's mindset coming into this?
The offensive line, we knew what we had to do. We knew it was going to be a big challenge. Like I said, we accepted the challenge. We say the bigger they are, the harder they fall, so the size didn't really affect us. We're a smaller unit, but we play together always. We play hard. We're physical, and we were able to dominate them.
Well, all right, so as you get set, I mean, this week against Morgan State's going to be sort of the same thing. What do you think the key was against South Carolina State? I mean, just, again, was it preparation? Was it, just what was the key for you to pile up 500 yards of total offense against a very good defense?
The key early on was definitely film watching. We watched a lot of film. They had a lot of elaborate blitzes. They didn't bring as many as we thought they would, but we were prepared for them. We read our keys. Whenever a linebacker would shift or a D lineman would move a little bit to the left, we knew what was going on, so we were able to react before it happened. And that was probably the main thing that helped us out.
Well, I mean, in a lot of people, and this is, you always see the center in other football games kind of pointing things out. They're kind of the quarterback of the line. Is that what you kind of pride yourself on, is how well you prepare?
Of course, definitely. I try to make sure I know what I'm doing as well as what everybody else is doing. So if they have a question or if somebody goes down, I can fill in any position or tell them what they need to do.
Being in this situation, 2-0 in the MEAC, what's the team, what are the guys talking about right now?
We're just trying to stay humble, stay hungry. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Like Coach said, we haven't arrived yet. So we're just trying to stay focused and get over Morgan State this week.
Well, you talk about what Coach did for South Carolina State, putting the score up on the scoreboard. I mean, he honestly could do the same thing for Morgan State. They got up really big on us early. Has that even entered the mind of you guys? I mean, you didn't really let it it wasn't a big deal last week against South Carolina State. I'm sure it played a little bit, but has this played any kind of role in it as far as last year is concerned?
Definitely. They came in last year and ruined our homecoming. It was a homecoming. They had, I think it was 21 unanswered in the first quarter. It was hard to bounce back from that. The year before that, we actually ruined their homecoming. And now this year they brought us up for homecoming again, so we got to get that one.
Well, as again, where do you think this offense can go? I mean, what's the limit of this offense? How far? I mean, what's the next step for you guys?
It's no limit at all. We left a lot of plays on the field, a lot of rushing yards, a lot of passing yards. The schemes, the coach, they draw it up very well. Schematically, we probably have the best offense in the MEAC. Players, we got the personnel. Just once we all get it together, 100% flowing together, it'll be amazing.
All right. We're going to stop talking schematics in football here. Let's talk about the offensive line, okay? Of the group, who of the group is the funniest?
Funniest probably Sterling Houston, the freshman, and he just we're in the middle of meetings, he might just say something funny, or if we're walking through before a game, he might just sit on the ground for a random reason. Just little things, man. Who is
the most serious?
Definitely Zach Giles, man. Grandpa G, he'll be calling, man.
Well, he's MEAC Offensive Lineman of the Week. For you, for the offensive line, is there something like, what is it about being an offensive lineman that you enjoy?
I would say knowing that the game is on us. The offense can't flow without the offensive line. It's the challenge. I like the challenge.
You like the challenge? Well, what's your major here at North Carolina Central, and what you want to do with it?
Major is accounting. I'm thinking about going to the Air Force after college and doing something with counting numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Well, you do know we have a volleyball coach here that came from Air Force, so maybe you and him can, talk it over. Again, Air Force is a tremendous branch of the armed forces, and that's awesome. What else? What as far as career, is that pretty much said, or
Definitely not said. Eventually, I want to get into coaching, take over Coach O's job, offensive line coach. That's possible.
Yeah. Well, Carl, if someone didn't know something about you, what was something you could tell someone that just if they said, tell me something that no one really knows about you, what would that be? I came into college 5'10", 235, playing offensive line. Nobody thought I could do it. Yeah, well, you're certainly showing that you can certainly do it, and you could also say that you're the NCAA sportsmanship guy on the video board, right?
Yes, sir.
The guy's giving you a little heck about that?
Yeah, man, a lot of heck about that.
Well, you did a good job. So, Carl, best of luck this week against Morgan State. Wish you the best of luck in your academics and your whatever career you choose to go into, and thanks for joining us here on Eagle Talk.
Thank you, Chris.
That is Carl Jones, offensive lineman from Nashville, Tennessee, here on today's program. We'll wrap up Eagle Talk right after this on the NCCU Sports Network.
North Carolina Central University is one of our nation's most prized assets.
Our law school ranks 4th in the nation for clinical opportunities.
We offer cutting-edge technology in the biosciences.
We help students master their craft.
At North Carolina Central University, we are a first-choice premier institution.
Why should you join Team 23?
The biggest savings.
The best selection.
The championship service.
A lifetime guarantee.
The best values.
The people.
There's only one team. Team 23.
Team 23 means your engine is guaranteed for life, free oil changes for life, and much, much more. Michael Jordan Nissan is Team 23.
Isn't it time for you to join Team 23?
Michael Jordan Nissan, 15501 north of I-40.
Thanks once again for tuning in to yet another edition of Eagle Talk. As again, we certainly appreciate all the students here in the MassCom building in the TV studio for all their help. Big special thanks to Felicia Casey Hicks and all her help for today's program as well. Certainly, again, be sure to tune in starting at 12:30 on Saturday as North Carolina Central football takes on Morgan State. Again, we'll be on the air at 12:30 to get you set for the big matchup as North Carolina Central tries to make it 3 wins in a row and move to 3-0 in the MEAC. Again, stay up to date with all 14 sports here at North Carolina Central by checking out www.nccueaglepride.com. For everybody here in the MassCom building here at North Carolina Central, we thank you for tuning in. So long, everybody.
Carolina Central is going to be picked up and knocked for by Tim Daniel. Picked up now by C.J. Moore. C.J. Moore, no one even.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.